For the big final for the ICC Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup Africa Division 2 qualifier between Nigeria and Kenya. Kenya won the toss and elected to bat. It's in front.
Now, if the exchange was is 1-1, it's one back. We should thank the Honorable Minister for Youth, Sport and Development, Chief Sunday Akindari, our special guest of honor. Thank you very much for coming. It's been a wonderful tournament that started 2022.
Not once, not 2 times, but 4 times.
Welcome here on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adeni Jishafe. Always good to take you back in memory lane, looking at our under-19 when they play cricket. And right now, the same under-19, they've grown to become men. And right now, playing for Nigeria in the T20 World Cup sub-regional qualifiers actually taking place in Nigeria, where they were able to defeat Cote d'Ivoire. We'll be looking at that story alongside volleyball. The first story has to do with the volleyball. 2024, where Nigeria beat Sierra Leone 3-0 in the men volleyball. They really did well there in that particular encounter, being able to win in all the sets of the game that were played in Abuja. Well, congrats to Team Nigeria, the volleyballers for the men, and really make us proud, and we're so proud of them for being able to do it, and to let you know that they will also be trying to see how they can offstage other teams in this competition. African Military Games 2024, Nigeria did well by defeating Sierra Leone 3-0 there in their particular encounter. Still talking about sporty moment, the one we talked about earlier in cricket, historic win for Nigeria as Okpe brothers mark 58 Nigerian caps with big win. Well, good one for the two brothers, but right now Nigeria was able to win that game against Cote d'Ivoire. That's 264 runs, and that gives them that opportunity to at least upstake their games. And for the two brothers, they play 50 games for Nigeria when it comes to cricket, and right now we are celebrating them. Both Sylvester and Isaac have been a formidable force for Team Nigeria when it comes to cricket sport, and right now they also did well by being able to add more values for the team of Nigeria, the one they call the Yellow Greens. That's the national team for men when it comes to the cricket sport. And right now, for what they've done so far, the two of them, Sylvester and Isaac Okpe, really marked 58 Nigerian caps with a big win, defeating Cote d'Ivoire with 264 runs in that encounter. They will be playing also today at the sub-regional qualifier. Hopefully they will be able to scoop this. Nigeria still remain top of the group ahead of Botswana, also trying to see how they can catch up with us that when it comes to cricket. Even though these nations are known for this sport, we are also closing the gap against all of them. Two-in-one story that we just brought to you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. Well, right now we'll be moving away from that particular story. I will move straight down to that's football now. This time around, we look at our own team, that's Edo Queens, at the just concluded CAF Women Champions League. They tried their best. They came fourth at their debut of that particular competition. And the good thing is that one of them has actually been picked among the top 11, best 11 after the competition ended. Miracle Usani, a defender of Edo Queens, makes 2024 CAF Women Champions League best 11. Well, that's a good one there. In fact, for the fact that they were able to pick one of them is something of note. Well, the goalkeepers have Abiba Emma Sabri of FC Massa, defender Miracle Usani of Edo Queens, Shadia Nankia of FC Massa, Aisha Natongo of FC Massa, Bukulu Belange of TP Mazembe. So are the defenders that have been at least given the nod to be among the top best 11 of the tournament. Midfielders, Malin Kasai of TP Mazembe, Sana Musodi, as far as the lady actually won the MVP of the tournament. Fantastic player who actually played a trade with as far of Morocco. And you have Sandrine Inyokuru, also of FC Massa of Egypt, making top midfielders for the CAF Women Champions League best 11. Forwards, Doha El Madani of Asfar, Mavil Kajinga of TP Mazembe, and Lacho Mata of TP Mazembe, who also had been able to make that court among the best forward, especially for Doha El Madani. Young Madani getting top scorer of the competition with 6 goals that she scored. We look at Kajinga, fantastic player who did well by winning, being among the top forwards of that particular game that was actually played over there in Morocco. Congrats to TP Mazembe for being able to win the competition ahead of favorite as far of Morocco. And also for Mamelodi Sundown ladies, this time around they are nowhere to be found as they could not salvage getting to be the defending champion of that particular competition. Well, good one there. Just to let you have a feel of the best 11 of the CAF Women Champions League. Well, the best 11 has been unveiled, and we look at that alongside Olawale Peter is here. We talk sport with him. Well, good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Adene. It's my pleasure being here, and thanks for having me.
Okay, so we just unveiled it. That's the best 11 of CAF. At least one of us, the Miracle Usani defender, making the cut.
Yeah, it's good to have one of us. To have one among the best 11, it's not a bad thing, especially for a team that they are coming in for the first time. And looking at what they did, I think they tried their best also, and I'm sure with time, and they will be able to improve on what they need to improve upon. However, I would like to congratulate more the TP Mazembe for what they did, not only winning the competition also, but for dominating the first 11. They have 4 players among the top 11 in the CAF selection, and also the FC Massa also, they also dominated excuse me, by having 4 of their players making the top 11. So that means it's more between the FC Massa and TP Mazembe that dominated the 11. They contributed almost 85% of the 11 players. When you have 8 players from the 2 teams from the 11 players, that shows that those 2 teams and they should be a role model for others to see what they are doing, how they are doing it, and how can we also improve on ours. We will not continue to, we'll continue to emphasize the need for us to see sport as business, and to also understand that for us to really compete with our African brothers, we need to budget and dedicate a lot of money for infrastructure development, for skills assessment, for competency based. We have a lot that we need to do. Most of these girls, they are out there based on their passion for the football, not because we have the system or the process that can make them to compete among the best in Africa. So I think we have to come back home and look at what we need to do. Okay, they finish fourth position. What do we have to do to make sure that whoever is representing Nigeria, we shouldn't be looking at a club this time around. We should be looking at whoever is representing Nigeria. What process do we have in place from the time they qualified to represent Nigeria at intercontinental competition? What do we need to put in place in terms of funding? We've said it times without number here. For you to play any intercontinental matches outside this country, you spend millions of naira. So what do we have in place from the states, from the federal government? Then if we know that they can't do that, we have to look for a way to bring in the private investors to come in and invest like we have in North Africa. That's what we have. Even the South African also, we have a lot of private investors that are really coming in to assist in that aspect. I think we seriously need to look into that. So congrats to us also. The miracle also, she found herself to be among the top defenders in Africa when it's come about this competition. So a good one for us.
A good one for Nigeria. Well, right now, Edo is being able to get one. In fact, coming fourth, and he's been listed in this best 11 for CAF Women Champions League. Well, good one there. We look at FC Massa dominating the award, rather the nomination, rather the list. And you look at as far, well, despite the favorite, they could actually have only two players playing there, MVP and also the top scorer, Doha El Madani and Sana Musudi, making the court there. For Miracle Usani, it is the beginning of better things to come. All she needs to do is to build on this and at least make sure she is among the top 11 when it comes to women football in Africa. While we talk about that, let's cross over away from women football and talk about our own sport. Recently, after the Ministry of Sport was actually scrapped, and we saw the return of the Nigerian Sport Commission. Right, a lot of Nigerians have been talking about that particular return, and now one of sports enthusiasts and also an owner of a team, basketball team, Boko Chief, City Chief, that's the owner, Ikato, actually urging the NSC to focus on sport development, athletes, career growth, if they really want to do well when it comes to the NSC, for at least doing well concerning Nigerian sport. All they need to do, make sure you focus on sport development and make sure you look at the growth of all the athletes across Nigeria.
Well, if they can focus on the sport development, I think all other issues will come in between it. The career growth for the athletes, and their welfareism, and all other issues will be encompassed inside the sport development. And for us to do that, we need to have a master plan. We need to have a process. We need to have it more like a constitution that says this is the stages that we need to take for all the sports that we have in the country. So the sport that we have in the country, we now have to break it down. The athletes, we have to break it down, and the football aspect, we have to break it down. The basketball, the cricket, and what have you. What are the process? How are we going to start it domestically from our home? What are the fund infrastructure available to them? So what would be the pros and the cons if you didn't follow this process? That's what I think we really need to do. And I think we've been talking until we start seeing action. Nobody will take it serious. So for us to really be serious, we need to have a defined process. We need to have a policy, documented policy, that whoever comes in to serve at the now Nigerian Sports Commission will follow, just like we have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Whoever you have as the president, you don't have a choice than to follow what is stated in the Constitution. We need to have that also for sport development in the country. Not because, okay, Sunday Dare was there before, and this is what he wants to implement based on his own idea. Then we have another sports minister. This is what he also wants to do. Now we're having the National Sports Commission, the chairman. No, we should look at what do we really want as in Nigeria. So we should try and have a committee cut across all the sporting activities in the Nigerian Federation, the football, the athletics, the table tennis, the lawn tennis, the badminton. Let everybody come. Just like they have the Confab Congress, sometimes about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Let's have something like that for sport also. So let everybody come in, the media, the journalists, the pundits. Let everybody come in, pour in their mind, their heart. Let's consolidate it. Let's make it a white paper document that whoever comes in will be what you need to follow. Then we should have in place also someone to monitor the implementation. But that has been part of the problem we have in this country. We speak very good English. Queen English, we speak it. Or now we call it King English because it's the king that's ruling the England now. We speak very good English. We can demonstrate, do analysis. But when it comes to practicalization of what we've spoken, it will be a problem. So we need to have that in place to have someone that will be monitoring the implementation. And by the time you discover or we see that, okay, you are derailing from the blueprint, you have to be called into action immediately. And without that, take it or leave it. The issue of sport development will continue to talk and talk. We need to take action. And this, my own humble opinion, is the best way and the way to really bring back the Nigerian sport to the limelight, like what we used to know before.
Okay, talking about Nigerian sport there, well, the best thing to do is to at least get everyone together on the same deck and see how we can develop our sport. Coming from our Peters there, and really, we just have to get it right because now it's getting better, slightly. Especially when you look at the MPFL, people are coming out to watch matches and all that. A lot of things are embedded in making sure sports is really turning into business for Nigeria, generating revenue, and also fostering peace and unity across the nation. So that is why right now we need to get this right under the NSC. Coming from the advice they are pouring in from different Nigerians who are trying to see how we can make sure we use sport as a tool to make money, and aside that, also foster peace and unity among ourselves. Well, from there, we move away from the NSC story. Let's talk about the Super Falcons. They'll be playing a friendly match by 30th of November against the Les Bleus of France. Well, the big one is the fact that one of the players, formidable part of that team, is not invited. Although not that is intentional, but according to the interim coach, Justin Madugu, he says why I did not invite Oshuala has to do with logistical reasons, because for the fact that his visa and also work permit is expired. So she's working on getting them renewed, and because of that, she won't be part of Falcons games for now until that is resolved. Before Asisa Oshuala will be back, and according to him, she's still an integral part of that squad.
Okay, I said this news as what happens to when you are a star. Whatever you do, there's no privacy again. An issue that shouldn't be an issue, people want to overbloat it or whatever without really knowing what happened. Why will the coach on his own decide not to invite the best player, as far as we are concerned, even in Africa and among the best in the world? And she's a player that since she has been with the Super Falcons, her commitment is more like that of Victor Osimhen, always wanting to serve. So they should have looked at it that, okay, why is she not invited? It's very simple. She's in a country where law and processes is a must. Her visa and work permit has expired. That doesn't mean they will give him a waiver to move from US, where she is currently, and go to France, where we are. No. Even the new coach of Manchester United, when he got to UK, he doesn't have the work permit. And without the work permit, he cannot even train. So he has to spend about 4 or 5 days just sitting down, doing nothing. Because the policy is you must have a work permit before you can start working, and your work starts when you start training. So you cannot train if you don't have the work permit. So that's how it works over there. So I don't think this is an issue at all. She's someone that she's ready to serve, she's willing to serve, and the commitment we've seen in times without number. So there's no cause for alarm. Yes, she's going to miss the friendly match that we'll be having, but doesn't mean the future invitation will not be extended to her by the time she sort out all this issue concerning her work permit and visa.
Okay, talking about Asisat Oshoala there. Well, as it is, she's still the African Player of the Year for women. You can't take that away till they crown another one by December 16. Well, Oshoala, due to issue of visa and work permit, she just has to be out of those games now. Well, talking about Super Falcons, they'll be fighting out against French women on 30th over there in France, and they just have to do well because they really want to use that to also beat their style of football. As it is right now, well, Super Falcons will be playing against France at the Stade de Copa over there in France. We wish them the best as they prosecute that particular game for the international friendly. See, talking about Nigerian football, but this time around we are digressing a bit to the men, and now we're talking about well, the man that has been in charge of Super Eagles. His name is Eguavoen. He has been backed by his teammate then when they were playing with for Super Eagles, Sunday Oliseh. Oliseh backs Eguavoen for permanent Super Eagles coaching job there. Well, at least he wants him to be confirmed as a permanent coach, and also he believes that he's going to succeed to take us to enviable height.
Okay, I think I agree totally with Sunday Oliseh. To be honest with you, I'm not saying Eguavoen is the best coach in Africa or in Nigeria, but it is what we have available that we can afford right now. And to be honest with you, he's not doing so badly. Like I said during the show, after we lost to Rwanda, the fact that he lost a match out of about 5 or 6 matches doesn't mean he's the worst of coaches. In fact, since he started, he took over on acting capacity. He has been playing a lot of attacking football. So you have that itches. I'm sure a lot of people will be looking at me that, what are you talking about, Lawale Peters? This is the same coach that denied us the ticket to the World Cup. It happens in football, and that's the reason why you have to get it right. This Eguavoen that we are talking about, when was the last time that the Ministry of Sport, where he works as the technical advisor, has equipped him, trained him, prepared him for that position? He was dragged in when we have no choice. Not that he applied or he wanted to. You know, there are two different things. Like if the likes of Oliseh and Amuneke and Finidi George, they applied for it. So that means they've already prepared themselves that, okay, I want to do this, so I must have the training, the skills required. But in a situation whereby you brought him in to come and salvage a situation, you need to give him the support. What support does he need? He needs to understand the dynamics of football right now. When he needs to play low block, high intensity, possession base, you need to understand that from the normal 4-4 to no. Football has gone far above that now. So what have we done as a country to really equip him since we brought him to come and salvage the situation? Don't get it wrong. We brought him in to come and salvage the situation. So we should get him prepared by giving him the necessary help, the assistance, the training that he really needs. He has been stuck at the glass house for how many years? Doing clerical and administrative work. So if you really know that we want to give him, yes, and he's highly respected. He's highly respected. He has won almost everything for the country. So I think it's not going to be a gamble to give him the opportunity for the next 2 years. Because what will be the worst that will happen to us that has never happened to us? The first thing that will happen to us that will be the worst is for us not to qualify for Nations Cup. We've had it in the past under a foreign technical advisor that we did not qualify for the Nations Cup. We've had it before under the foreign technical advisor that we did not qualify for the World Cup.
2006.
We've gone to the Nations Cup without winning the trophy under the foreign technical advisor. So what is the worst that can happen to us that has never happened to us? So why should we give him that opportunity by giving him the necessary support that he needs to excel? You know, it's like you don't give people responsibility without authority. Once you give them responsibility without authority and the resources needed to succeed, you don't want them to succeed to start from. You don't want the person to succeed to start from. So I think I agree totally with Oliseh. Let's give him time. Let's be patient. We've qualified for the Nations Cup now. That's for the AFCON. we've qualified. So the next step is we have to qualify for the World Cup. And for us to do that, we're in October. The next match that will determine if you have hope, and we're going to be hopeless, is against Rwanda, away from home. So instead of all this talking, because we can't get in a new coach between now and that time to come and salvage the situation. So it's our best option right now. So let's make use of the best option by giving him the necessary, the required resources, the skills that he needs. And also, we should allow him, because if anything happens, we always blame the coach. But behind the scene, there are a lot that happens in football. The dressing room. Is it the one? Does he have the ownership of the dressing room? Does he have the ownership of the first 11? Does he have ownership of the training? Does he have ownership of how to get the player released on time? So these are the things that we really need to look into and assist him to succeed. So I'm with Oliseh on this. 100% we give him an opportunity.
Well, Eguavoen, the one they call Rezo right now, is still the interim coach of the Super Eagles and being backed by Sunday Oliseh. And a lot of Nigerians are saying, okay, let's give him the chance to run the football affairs and see what Super Eagles can do for the World Cup qualifier that will be coming up in March. Let's see what Eguavoen will be offering us, and also the Super Eagles themselves. As it is right now, Nigerians are really looking at, will he be given the nod to continue as the substantive coach of the Eagles, or on that interim base style as the coach of that team? Well, NFF actually, they have the answers to that, and then his performance too will speak for him by the time they play those qualifiers. Away from that story, we know that tonight UEFA Champions League will be up for grabs across different stadia in Europe. About 9 matches will be coming up, where 18 teams will be slugging it out to see who wins and who stays top. You know, this is a league marathon. When it comes to this particular one, it's different now. You just have to play the marathon of 8 matches first between now and it will actually continue till January. Well, for tonight's matches, we know that Slovan Bratislava will be playing against AC Milan. Well, if you want to look at it, not on paper now, but from football, you want to give it to AC Milan. But this time around, it's different ball game when it comes to UEFA Champions League stage. And you look at Sparta Prague of Czech Republic against Atletico Madrid, Brest against Barcelona at home, Bayer Leverkusen against Red Bull Salzburg, Bayern Munich against PSG. What a match! Inter Milan, they'll be at San Siro against RB Leipzig, while Feyenoord of Netherlands travel to play against Manchester City. Will they lose this to make it the 6th loss? Well, let's look at what's going to happen to Pep Guardiola and his lads. Sporting CP, no more Amorim, he's moved to Manchester United. Can they win against Arsenal? Arteta should take advantage of this. After all, Sporting defeated Man City. Well, for young boys, they'll be facing our own brother, that's Ademola Lookman's team, Atalanta. Atalanta are away to Switzerland as they take on young boys tonight. Just to let you have a feel of what is happening when it comes to Champions League. Well, 9 matches all for grabs, and it seems most of the teams on the right side looks like the strongest teams, and a few of the one from the left side. But football is not actually played that way.
Okay, I agree and disagree with you. And the way the Champions League has been played this time around is totally different, and there will be a lot of surprises at the end of the group competition. I'm sure a lot of people are hearing Brest for the first time. They've never heard of them before. What are they doing? Barcelona will beat them 10, but it's not like that. This is a team that they've played 4 matches so far, and they're yet to lose a match. They've won 3, they drew 1. So currently they are 4th on the table. While the Barcelona, they are below them. So it's going to be an interesting match to really see who will win and who will lose. Whoever believes that the likes of Liverpool will be the one topping the league right now, they are yet to lose a match. They are yet to lose any match. And the way it is, if you have the table, you look at the table that even the points, the goal difference and goal against matters a lot. You will see that the difference between 10th position and up to 16th position, it just goes different. So that means about 6 or 7 teams, they are hanging on based on goal difference, and goal against. If you go further also, you'll see between 17th up to 23rd, still goal difference because they're having 60 points. All of them, they are the same 60 points. But it's goal difference and goal against that is the difference. Those on 7 points also, so you can see that. Let's take for example, Man City, they're on 10th position and they're having 7 points. Now let's go down and check Atletico Madrid. They're on 23rd position. They're having how many points? 6 points.
So just a point.
So just a point between 10th position to 23rd. So 30 different teams in between them. Just 1 point. So the difference is goal difference, goal difference, goal difference. So that's what makes it very competitive and very interesting. So that means every minute counts. Every goal scored, every goal conceded, including the discipline of your players. Because we'll get to a situation whereby you have the same points, the same goal difference, the same goal against, and they have to go to the discipline of the player. How many yellow cards do you have? How many red cards do you have? So that will determine who will progress and who will not progress. So it's very, very interesting. You can see the top 8 that will automatically qualify without playing second round. As of today, Liverpool, Sporting, CP, Monaco, Brest, Inter Milan, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and Aston Villa. So
assuming this is how it ends now. These are the 8 that will go straight to round of 16.
Nobody, no bookmaker, no pundit, no analyst who ever predicted that this 8
will be the one.
Let's take maybe Liverpool. You can gamble Liverpool. You can gamble Barcelona. The other 6. And
Inter Milan maybe.
Well,
slightly.
Slightly because for the past 2 seasons now they've been doing very well when it comes to the Champions League. Even in their league also, they are not doing very bad. So that means it's going to be very interesting. And they've played 4 matches already. So they have 4 matches to play more. So that means tonight's match is like a must-win for whoever wants. Look, for example, now, if Brest should win tonight's match, that will take them from 10th position to 13th position. Comfortably, they know whatever happens. Since the 24th position, PSV is having 5 points. There's no how mathematically their next 3 matches, if they should lose the 5th one, so they will get 9 points. 9 plus 5, that will give them 14 points. So they know that the next 3 matches I just need a draw. So the mathematics will start coming in after tonight's match. So it is something that everybody really needs to gear up. Then for Manchester City, I'm sure all eyes will be on Pep Guardiola and the Manchester City squad. I'm not going to say Manchester City fan, just like you, that you only support a team that is winning. You are not a loyal, committed or dedicated football fan. It's only when they are winning trophy you jump from ear to ear. We don't have genuine Man City fans also in Nigeria. Let me say only 10%. Others are because
I'm among the 10%.
I didn't mean.
I'm actually among the 10%. Anyway,
I won't be surprised if you are supporting them.
For the sake of viewers who are actually watching.
Okay.
All this is just about the Ras, but it does the show. But sincerely, I have no club.
But I mean, the viewers recall vividly that last 2 seasons.
I was supporting Arsenal. I just have to give some. You know why?
Okay.
Let me explain why I was supporting Arsenal.
But you supported Arsenal.
2 seasons ago, I was supporting Arsenal. Now I'm supporting Chelsea. You won't believe it.
No, they don't want you. Maybe when you come to the show, stop wearing blue.
Oh my goodness. I'm supporting Chelsea and Man City now.
Well,
the fact that yes, I also support. I think for me, I just support all of them. But to make the show very interesting, I noticed that there's this particular Gunners fan who always watches the show. So each time Arsenal, I see the joy that brings to him.
Okay.
And himself and his mom. His mom is also a Gunner. So to some extent, that all gives them Arsenal Gunner. And I see the happiness they always have whenever I support Arsenal. So I say, okay, let me just continue to support Arsenal and for their sake. To be candid, they are very happy. Now, aside that, this season, maybe I should go with. Let me stay with Eyimba.
Okay, I think it's better for you to stay with Eyimba.
Oh my goodness.
And 2 things. Number 1, the Chelsea fans, they will want you to support them.
Chelsea?
Why? The reason why they don't want you to support them is any club you support, they will end up trophyless.
No, when I'm not Joseph Peter.
They don't want that. Any club you support, they end up trophyless. Then for your for the example you made about the Arsenal, I think you are a student of Jose Mourinho. I recall vividly the first time Arsene Wenger defeated him, and he said he's very happy because for almost 5 seasons, anytime he plays against Arsenal, the fans are always crying.
So he has given them joy.
He has given them joy for them to smile. So for giving that family that joy also, I think that consolation is needed. But however, Man City, they really have to win and win convincingly tonight.
Now, before you say what you want to say about Man City, let's have that Man City graphics that has to do with all the losses they've had. For the first time, this is the first time in the history of Guardiola's career that back to back 5, and the man is trying to find a way to make it look like nothing is happening, but we know that a lot of things are actually happening. This has not happened, and the record was pursuing. Jose Mourinho with Chelsea, 86 unbeaten, right? That one still stands. I saw the crown put on Mourinho's head, and now the man has actually won everything in football. He seems not to be getting it right for the past 5 matches now.
Okay, let me say the law of diminishing return is setting in, and to the players and to the coach also. And to be honest with you, I said it when we are starting the season that Man City will be the team that everybody wants to beat. In fact, if what we call it, the likes of I'm just thinking about club that they have no hope of winning Premier League, like Manchester United, for example.
Manchester United.
I'm talking about teams that they have no hope of winning Premier League. So good example is Manchester United.
The Manchester United fans are saying the best example should have been Southampton or
no, they are the same.
Forest.
They are the same pedestrian now. They're in 12th position currently right now. So let's face the reality. Okay. So they don't have that hope now. But it is for Manchester United that they are hope, or even Arsenal for over 2 decades, 20 years. So that means some Gen Z that are following Arsenal, before they gave birth to them, Arsenal have never won trophy. If they want to win the Premier League, all of that team are ready to donate their points
just to beat them
than Man City to win. I'm just trying to let you know. Now, Guardiola made a mistake also. He did not try to bring in more additional players to his team. You can't be using the same set of players for the past 2, 3, or 4 seasons. Today is 26th of November, right? So we have about 35 or 36 days before the end of the year. Jack Grealish is yet to score a goal. Yet to score a goal. So we're talking about these are the players that when they came in about 3 or 4 years ago, they are fantastic. It's either Alan score or nobody score. It's either KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, provide the assist. Look at Silva and Bernardo Silva. What has he really done? Because you are missing Rodri and you are complaining. I've said this and I'll say it again. Injury is never an excuse for a team not to perform. Because you don't have only one player, you don't have 2 players, you don't have 3 players. You just have almost 23 players. Last season, Chelsea had the most injury players in the history of the Premier League. For last season, almost half of their players were injured. But it's not an excuse. The same thing happened to Arsenal also. So there's no excuse for him. That is why you are the coach. That is why you are one of the best in the world. You have to make do with what you have. If Jose Mourinho can use the Inter Milan team to defeat Barcelona and win the Champions League and win treble, also he did the same thing with Porto. That is why he will be regarded as among the best coach in the world. So you have to make use of what you have to get what you need, irrespective of the circumstances. So that is what Pep is expected tonight. Because if he should lose tonight or draw tonight, it's going to be the first time in his career that Champions League he lost or he didn't win 2 consecutive matches. It's going to be another record for Man City. That is the first time they'll be losing 6
straight games,
and it continue to count. Don't forget, by weekend, they are going to meet Liverpool. And Liverpool currently are sitting on top of the EPL with 8-point gap.
And also on top of Champions League.
So they will do everything possible to defeat them.
Since they are the closest rival.
So to make it 11-point gap. So for the Manchester City to go to Anfield, and that is the stadium that all the coaches ask them,
what's the secret?
Where do you fear most to play? They'll tell you it's Anfield. Because the crowd, the chant, the support from the beginning to the end, it's always massive. So Guardiola needs to bring his magic to make sure that they win tonight and they win convincingly. We need to see the tiki-taka, the possession base, the eye line that we know Guardiola's style to be. We need to see that tonight, because if he should fail to do that, I'm scared of what will happen to him over the weekend. And after that, I don't know, maybe the English press or all this, the pundits.
The hype men.
The hype men, yeah, let's call them the hype men. I don't know why they've not really come very hard on him, because if you should...
I noticed, for what you just mentioned, I noticed there's this part of this style of packages. Some people appears to be the good ones, and you look at some that, okay, we don't really like this person. If you check, anytime, to some extent, well, with all respect to both of them, I noticed that if anything happens to Ronaldo, if any negative thing comes from Ronaldo, it goes quickly viral than if it is Messi. It's not as if it's a saying of not committing any, maybe on the pitch of play or whatever, or being rude to a referee or thereabout. But if it's Ronaldo that did that, it will go viral. So if you look at Mourinho and Guardiola, they are almost in the same mode too. If Mourinho should do like this to a ref, tomorrow be expecting a lot of either ban or something or whatever, or the way to be reported. But Guardiola seems to be enjoying that same mode too of, okay, this is a good boy of media. Kind of, I don't know. I'm just looking at it that way. It's always happened that there'll be somebody that will be like, okay, this is the one we have actually given this role of, this is a bad guy, this is a good guy.
Okay. In summary, there's something they call media PR. It happens everywhere in the world. So maybe that is what is happening also. Because like you rightly put, I don't have anything to expatiate again. We've seen times without number when Messi will lose a penalty. There won't be any issue. But let Cristiano Ronaldo is the worst player on earth.
On the pitch.
The same with Mourinho. Assuming he's in Premier League now, and he lost 5 matches consecutively. By now. The first headline will be Mourinho has finished.
Not the special one.
Not the special one. We have seen that a lot. So, and I think maybe it's about media PR. It depends about their media team, because most of these coaches also, they have their own media team. It depends on their relationship with the journalists, the pundits, and what have you. Then it depends on the individual. To be honest with you, you see, both Mourinho and Cristiano Ronaldo, they like to strive in midst of crisis. They like to be in the news all the time. Wherever they find themselves, you'll see them, they want to be making headlines. So maybe that is why they are getting that. Both of them are from Portugal. Maybe it's part of the Portuguese style that wherever we have to notice me for the good or for the bad. But one thing you can't take away from them, they are the best when it comes to what they are really doing. So as far as I'm concerned, I think if care is not taken, this may be the last season for Pep Guardiola in Premier League, based on his trajectory.
Despite that extension of contract.
Based on his trajectory. When he was in Barcelona, he was ruling, he was winning everything. And Real Madrid, they said, we need to checkmate him. They brought in Jose Mourinho. And it became war. He couldn't survive. He left to where? Bayern Munich, the best team in German league and one of the best in the world. But he couldn't land in the what? The Champions League. For the number of seasons he spent with them, the pressure was much on him because they don't have the financial muscle that likes of Manchester City they have. So he got an opportunity for Manchester City. He got there and he bought all the available players that he needed to win him the trophy. And he started winning the trophy. I think he didn't win last season Champions League. take it or leave it. Probably it won't be in Man City by now. So I hope he will not allow the same trajectory to happen. So I think he needs to win tonight's match. He needs to win and show people that I still have the magic hand. And the robotic Haaland also, he needs to come back to himself. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's still getting the passes. But that's why I said it and I'll continue saying it. People look at Nicolas Jackson as the worst striker. But if you take a deep look at what the likes of Haaland, Darwin Núñez and co, even the lab in Ipswich City, what those guys are missing, especially this season, or even Haaland and Darwin Núñez last season, Nicolas Jackson is not that worst. So I don't know what is wrong with Haaland, but their psychology team, they need to do a lot, not only on him, on their entire player. I want them to win because I want to see the competition in the Premier League and in the Champions League also.
Well, I love the fact that you say you love them to win, but you know rich belly.
The reason why,
because I know that an average Chelsea fan wouldn't want Man City to win.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really have a problem with Manchester City winning.
Maybe okay, it's Man U.
Is that what?
It's Man U or Liverpool.
See, Liverpool, I won't say anything about them for now because they are on top of Chelsea.
Yes,
but as a typical Chelsea fan, they don't talk to a team that is below them.
Okay.
You can't be on 12th position and be arguing with a team that is currently sitting on 3rd position. Chelsea fan doesn't do that.
What's the jive there to Man United fans? Anyway, before we go, let's look at the result of games played yesterday. Newcastle United, what happened to them against West Ham? Well, that's a big war there. Well, they actually lost at home, St. James Park. West Ham being able to win. That was...
See, that's one good thing about Premier League. That's one good thing about Premier League. This is the same West Ham that they've only won 3 matches this season so far. And they defeated Manchester United and Tottenham and Ipswich Town. They're the only 3 teams that they've defeated this season. And they've lost almost 7 matches and they drew about 2. Nobody believed that they will go to Newcastle United and they will win.
2 goals.
2 goals, 2 unreplied goals. So that is the beauty of Premier League. Surprises can come in and can come out. So I think it's a very good win for them. You have to take them, and I think they are currently 14th on the log table right now. So that is something good for them before they play their next match. Then for the Serie A also, Empoli and Udinese, we're not expecting anything less than that. And because for now, everybody is struggling for their stay in their respective league, because the format for those playing the Champions League, the UEFA or the Euro as we call it, or the Conference League, it's very tasking now because they are playing more matches. Don't forget, they still have about their local competition, like in England, like in Premier League, they have the Carabao Cup they are playing, they have the FA Cup, also they have something similar. So they're playing a lot of matches at the same time. So the depth of your team really comes to play this time around. So I think it's a very good one. Then a very good one for, let's say also, for winning away from home. 3 points, it's something that can survive you at the end of the season. So any match you win away from home, it's like, you can see the jubilation after the match yesterday. You're like, oh, have they won the Scudetto? So what is going on?
That's their own Scudetto.
That's their own Scudetto for winning away from home. So that 3 points is very, very massive for them. So I think a good one for them, and for West Ham United also a very good one, especially their coach that is currently under serious fire.
Okay, well, before we go on the lighter note, let's have that Rhys James picture with us. Let's have that Rhys James. At least someone said this. I didn't say it. EPL. Nigerian football fans compare Rhys James to National Grid after a fresh injury blow. So, and someone said, okay, this will also be talked about Luke Shaw. So they are in the same mold.
Okay, I won't be surprised if this is coming from a Manchester United fan.
Actually, yes.
And it's very obvious. However, the truth is not far from the truth. Rhys James, I think he needs to really do a lot concerning his injury. It's a fantastic player. It's a very good player. Anytime he plays, you see the difference, even for England or for Chelsea. You see his influence on the pitch, but the injury is not really helping. But I think Rhys James is still far better
Ghana, our national grid.
No, our national grid. No, you can't compare anything to our national grid. As we are talking right now, don't be surprised. Maybe another thing will happen. We pray it doesn't happen now.
Anyway,
okay? So that's just the issue.
On a lighter note, anyway, on a lighter note. But seriously, something must be done concerning Rhys James and all those players that are so prone to injury. We've had a very wonderful time with Olawale Peter on the show, and we just have to wrap it up right now. And before we go, I want to appreciate your time with us. But someone said maybe you should predict the score for Champions League.
Okay, thank you, Adeniyi. It's my job. I will do that. So let's have the.
Let's look at the score. Let's
look at the fixtures quickly.
Just one touch of that UEFA Champions League. Okay, while we're looking at that, we know that Barcelona will be playing against a team. We know that Manchester City will be playing and all that happening. But just the scoreline.
Okay, so I give it to AC Milan. They're winning
1-0. Just
there's going to be 3-1. 3-1. Then Atletico Madrid, there will be a surprise for them also. They are losing 2-1. For Barcelona, it's going to be a very good match for Barcelona, but I see them drawing tonight's match. They're not winning.
0-0.
And there will be a goal. But it's
okay,
be drawn.
1-1, okay.
Bayern Leverkusen and RB and Red Bull Salzburg, I don't see them having anything to prove against Bayern Leverkusen. So I see Bayern Leverkusen winning 2-0. Bayern Munich and PSG, this is a game for Vincent Kompany to win. If not, and will be on a serious and odd seat. So they are winning 3-1. Inter Milan, RB Leipzig, 3-0. Manchester City. In favor of Inter.
Okay.
Manchester City and Feyenoord in consolidation, 4-0.
For Man City.
For Man City, yes.
Okay.
Sporting, CP and Arsenal, they are going to defeat Arsenal.
Okay.
2-1.
2-1.
Yes. Young Boys and Atlanta. Atlanta is winning away from home, 3-2.
And Ademola scoring.
Definitely. He's scoring and he's making an assist.
I just have to add that one to actually put your leg there. Well, hopefully, let's see how those score line in the UEFA Champions League coming up tonight. That's it on the show. Olawale Peter be with us. Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure being here, Dennis.
You are wearing the jersey of, is it West Ham now? Anyway, that's it on the show. Adeni Aji Shafe, thanks for watching.